Good day. This presentation is about innovative strategic planning by the private sector. It's a gender equity study from Suriname. The content of the presentation is as follows. We start off with the introduction, elaborate on the local context, and then present the findings. The conclusion answers the question, what are the main barriers to gender equity in Suriname's workforce and how can they be effectively addressed? I'd like to begin the introduction with a thought-provoking phrase inspired by the works of Professor Eugene Barito, a recognized Caribbean gender expert. Gender relations, like power relations, are relations of conflict and struggle as well as cooperation. This quote speaks to the importance of our topic today, participatory action research for gender equity in strategic planning. Participatory action research, or PAR, is a collaborative approach that equips stakeholders to solve their own problems. PAR emphasizes participation and action with the aim of understanding the world collaboratively by striving to change it. The research aligns with critical realism, suggesting that there's a reality independent of researchers' perceptions, but it also borrows from moderate constructivism, acknowledging that there are multiple realities that individuals construct in their mind. The aim is therefore to identify the real world by analyzing the different interpretations. The methodology for this research is based on the Women's Empowerment Principles Gaps Analysis tool. This tool was developed collaboratively among the private sector, the UN, governments, and civil society, and it's based on 7 principles: leadership, equal opportunity, inclusion and non-discrimination, health, safety and freedom from violence, education and training, enterprise development, supply chain and marketing practices, community leadership and engagement, transparency, measuring and reporting. The research question is, what are the main barriers to gender equity in Suriname's workforce and how can they be effectively addressed? We delve into 3 Surinamese case studies in different sectors that use participatory action research to explore and address issues of gender equity in the Surinamese workforce. These case studies contrast through the use of different sectors as well as diverse organizational structures and scales. Despite being a constitutional equality, Suriname struggles with deeply ingrained gender-related issues. As per 2021 ILO estimates, there's a significant gender discrepancy in employment rates among men and women. More women than men are pursuing education, especially higher professional studies, yet men still dominate the technical fields. The COVID-19 pandemic heightened the gender disparities, with Suriname's economic output contracting. Job loss affected women disproportionately. This assessment examined 6 core inclusion capacities at the individual and organizational levels. These figures show the differences between the individual and organizational level. These findings show a clear opportunity for private sector companies to align their structures and policies more closely with the lived experiences and with the perceptions of their staff. In comparing the gender perception of core inclusion capacities, male staff members rated both themselves and their organizations more positively than their female counterparts. Men in all sectors expressed more positivity about opportunities for progression and equal compensation. Women, while valuing parental leave, encountered more challenges in balancing work and parental duties. Despite women increasingly pursuing higher level technical studies, there is limited inclusive recruitment policies for underrepresented roles. Traditional gender stereotypes continue to influence job roles. Additionally, sex disaggregated data collection is not commonplace, making it difficult to draw insights and address gender equality in underrepresented roles. There is also a lack of gender-specific facilities, and equal pay presents its own set of challenges. While sometimes female quota are in place, pay and reward structures need to be enhanced. Across all sectors, there is a perception among women of limited promotion opportunities. There is an absence of in-house training programs, policies ensuring diversity and gender equality in promotions, and support for career development. Although there seems to be a commitment for gender equality at the leadership level, this commitment is not institutionalized. Stakeholder engagement is relatively low, and there's an absence of partnership with women's organizations. The Caribbean organization Women in Maritime Association, WIMAC, is a key entity raising awareness about maritime opportunities for women. However, efforts are still needed to elevate advocacy skills for equality among a broader range of stakeholders. While compliance with national legislation on maternity and paternity leave is observed, opportunities for gradual return to work after maternity leave are minimal. Flexible work options are generally limited, and support for childcare or breastfeeding at work is not adequately provided. Furthermore, engagements with families about discussions about changing gender roles and responsibilities are minimal. We do see inclusivity strategies like diversity and inclusion policies and gender equality statements in some organizations, but there is noticeably a gap in the collection of sex disaggregated data. Concerning is sometimes the handling of sexual harassment cases. Over half of the respondents are uncertain about the procedure. While unions have raised awareness against harassment, the process for filing complaints remains unclear, highlighting the need for a dedicated, objective, and confidential procedure. Further, there's a lack of trained personnel to handle such sensitive cases. We can state that each sector comes with its unique challenges to achieve gender equity. None of the core inclusion capacities are fully developed across sectors. While each sector has its unique variances, common trends in how men and women perceive their workplace inclusivity are noticeable. These preliminary results show that companies should work on sexual harassment prevention and support, gender-specific facilities, and starting dialogue with the community and families about traditional gender roles and professions and the changing thereof, collecting and analyzing sex disaggregated data, availability of more mentorships and programs and training opportunities, and more civil society partnerships. These strategies were the result of participatory action research, ensuring that every stakeholder has a voice and could participate actively in developing solutions. The next phase will include a more objective econometric analysis and contrasting the results obtained from the econometric analysis with that of the participatory action research. Thank you for your attention. If you have questions, feedback, comments, please send them to these email addresses, or you can also add me on LinkedIn using the QR code.